Hello students. Today we will read part 3rd of Land, Soil, Water, Natural Vegetations and Wildlife Resources. Let's start. Water. Water is a vital renewable natural resource. Three-fourths of the earth's surface is covered with water. It is therefore appropriately called the water planet. It was in the primitive ocean that life began almost 3.5 billion years back. Even today, the oceans cover two-thirds of the Earth's surface and support a rich variety of plants and animal life. The ocean water is, however, saline and not fit for human consumption. Fresh water accounts for only about 2.7%. Nearly 70% of this occurs as ice sheets and glaciers in the Antarctica, Greenland, and mountain regions. Due to their location, they are inaccessible. Only 1% of fresh water is available and fit for human use. It is found as groundwater, as surface water in rivers and lakes, and as water vapor in the atmosphere. Fresh water is therefore on earth. Water can neither be added nor subtracted from the earth. Its total volume remains constant. Its abundance only seems to vary because it is in constant motion, cycling through the oceans, the air, the land, and back again through the process of evaporation, precipitation, and runoff. This, as you already know, is referred to as water cycle. Humans use huge amount of water not only for drinking and washing but also in the process of production. Water for agriculture, industries, generating electricity through reservoirs of dams and are the other usages. Increasing population, rising demands for food and cash crops, increasing urbanization and rising standards of living are the major factors leading to shortage in supply of fresh water, either due to drying up of water sources or water pollution. Problems of water availability. There is a scarcity of water in many regions of the world. Most of Africa, West Asia, South Asia, parts of western USA, northwest Mexico, parts of South America, and entire Australia are facing shortages in fresh water supply. Countries located in climatic zones most susceptible to droughts face great problems of water scarcity. Thus, water shortage may be a consequence of variation in seasonal or annual precipitation, or the scarcity is caused by over exploitation and contamination of water resources. Conservation of water resources. Access to clean and accurate water sources is a major problem facing the world today. Steps have to be taken to conserve these dwindling resources. Even though water is a renewable resource, its overuse and pollution make it unfit for use. Discharge of untreated or partially treated sewage, agriculture chemicals, and industrial influents in water bodies are major contaminants. They pollute water with nitrates, metals, and pesticides. Most of these chemicals are non biodegradable and reach human bodies through water. Water pollution can be controlled by treating these effluents suitably for releasing them in water bodies. Forest and other vegetations cover slow the surface, runoff and replenish underground water. Water harvesting is another method to save surface runoff. The canals used for irrigating field should be properly lined to minimize losses by water seepage. Sprinklers effectively irrigate the area by checking water losses through seepage and evaporation. In dry regions with high rates of evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. The valuable, the valuable water resources can therefore be conserved by adapting these means of irrigations. Natural vegetations and wildlife. Some school children were visiting an exhibition on handicrafts. The articles in the exhibition were collected from different parts of the country. Mona picked up a bag and exclaimed, "This is a beautiful handbag." "Yes, it is made up from jute," the teacher said. "Do you see those baskets, lampshades, and chairs? Those are made up of cans and bamboos. In the eastern and northeastern humid regions of India, bamboo grows in plenty." Jessie was excited to see a silk scarf. See this beautiful scarf. The teacher explained that silk is obtained from silkworms that are bred in mulberry trees. The children understood that plants provide us with many different products that we use in our day to day life. Natural vegetations and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere that we call biosphere. In the biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. This life supporting system is known as the ecosystem. Vegetation and wildlife are valuable resources. Plants provide us with timber, give shelter to animals, produce oxygen we breathe, protect soil so essential for growing crops, act as shelter belts, help in shortage of underground water, gives us fruits, nuts, latex, turpentine oil, gum, medical plants, and also the paper that is so essential for our studies. There are innumerable uses of plant and you can add some more. Wildlife includes animals, birds, insects as well as the aquatic life forms. They provide us milk, meat, hides and wool. Insects like bees provide us honey, help in pollination of flowers, and have an important role to play are decomposers in the ecosystem. The birds feed on insects and act as decomposers as well. Vulture, due to its ability to feed on dead livestock, is a scavenger and considered a vital cleanser of the environment. So, animals, big or small, are all integral to maintaining balance in the ecosystem. Distribution of natural vegetation. The growth of vegetation depends primarily on temperature and moisture. The major vegetation types of the world are grouped as forest, grasslands, scrubs, and tundra. In areas of heavy rainfall, huge trees may thrive. The forests are thus associated with areas having abundant water supply. As the amount of moisture decreases, the size of the trees and their density reduces. Short stunted trees and grasses grow in the region of moderate rainfall, forming the grasslands of the world. Thorny shrubs and scrubs grow in a dry areas of low rainfall. In such areas, plants have deep roots and leaves with thorny and waxy surface. Reduces loss of moisture through transpiration. Tundra vegetation of cold polar regions compromise of mosses and lichens. Forests are broadly classified as evergreen and deciduous depending on the when they shed their leaves. Evergreen forests do not shed their leaves simultaneously in any season of the year. Deciduous forests shed their leaves in a particular season to conserve loss of moisture through transpiration. Both type of forests are further classified as tropical or temperature based on their locations in different latitudes. You have learned in detail about the various forest types, their distribution and the associated animal life in the previous class. Today there are many more people in the world than there were 2 centuries back. To feed the growing numbers, large areas of forest have been cleared to grow crops. Forest cover all the world is vanishing rapidly. There is an urgent need to conserve these valuable resources.